Okay, we're gonna turn a pluck into a... Oh, okay, this is gonna be hard. Ayo, reset here. Here's where my head is right now. I taught a lesson a few months ago to one of my students, and we were talking about how to get started with sound design. I had said you can take any sound and transform it to any sound. So I had a shower thought like, what if we took like a wheel of different types of sounds and I spun that and we tried to make a challenge out of it? Like, what if the wheel challenged me to make like a lead instrument out of a snare? Or I turned some sort of lead instrument into a snare, right? Like, and we know it is possible and it has been done, but I feel like for the common layperson, they might not know sound design or audio processing. This might be totally brand new to them. So that's kind of what I want to explore today. Yeah, so I had made this wheel, and as we're making this track, I want to talk about like the 5 things that come to mind as I'm sound designing a sound. So yeah, let's spin this wheel and see what we get. I'm gonna turn a hi-hat into a pluck. Okay, cool. Let's go about that. So let's get a hi-hat sound. That's gonna bring us to tip number 1, which is the envelope. The envelope is easily one of the most transformative things that we can do to shape the sound. And this is usually sometimes referred to as like 4 parameters known as ADSR, or attack, decay, sustain, and release. In this case here, it's got a strong attack and a fairly like quick release. I think we have a pretty close envelope. We're going to kind of stretch this out and warp it. Now let's talk about the second tip is the pitch. We just want to put the sound in the right range or in the right frequency. So in this case, the hi-hat is like way too high. It's got a lot of high frequencies. Let's turn the pitch down here. I think we're in the right range, but it's very noisy. This is gonna bring us into the next tip about sound design, and that's adjusting the timbre. I'm kind of thinking about that by adjusting any sort of saturation or filtering. We can think of it by either adding frequencies, by saturating the signal, by slightly distorting it. This will make it sound brighter or fuller and has just more noise or more frequencies. If we filter the sound, it's gonna lessen or remove some of those frequencies. So this could be handy because we have too much noise. We need something just like a singular note. So I'm gonna add an EQ here. It still could be lower. I wanna bring this down to like at least 700 or so. It looks like we have a bunch of stock comb filters. It's a bunch of bands of filters working together that are shaped up or down in a way that makes it kind of look like the teeth of a comb. Comb filters are particularly helpful when you want to get a tone out of noise. And that's because a lot of these boosted bands are coming out at those different harmonics needed for a proper sounding note. Okay, that's great. Let's bring this over into our simpler. Oh, okay. We're getting somewhere here. We're losing a bit of the envelope, but that's not a problem. I don't want the note to be held. I just want it to hit strong and then decay. We might do sort of a shape like this. Let's talk about the tip of space. Think of space like delay or reverb on a signal. Let's add a bit of reverb to prolong the note and give it a larger sense of space. I feel like that's pretty close for a pluck. Do we need to put it through more comb filtering? I feel like that would give us a cleaner sound. Whoa, okay, yeah, that's definitely that's definitely giving us the note. Let's resample and do this one again. Oh, so much cleaner. Okay, there we go. That's our pluck sound. Let's spin the wheel again and see our next task. We're gonna take a bass sound and transform it to a... Oh, that one's easy. Okay, well, this one's an easy one, but I'm gonna show you anyways. Let's load in a very basic instrument like operator. Yeah, so that's a very simple bass sound. This bass has a long sustain, and the kick has a much shorter, basically almost no sustain. Right off the bat, we can trim this down and then give it a bit of a tail, and this will already put us more in the ballpark of that kick. I feel like it could use a bit more saturation, and it could be a bit more clicky as well too. Let's add a transient shaper, and let's really bring out that initial punch or that initial attack. Let's chop off that sustain. To make it a kick, we need more frequencies, I think, for that sort of smack. So let's add in some saturation. Yeah, I might honestly just like freeze that. And then I might just do a final fade adjustment here. We have a kick. Boom. Let's see what we got. Okay, we're gonna turn a pluck into a... Oh, okay, this is gonna be hard. A pluck into a riser. Yeah, those are very polar opposite in what we're trying to do. Okay, let's think about it this way. The pluck has a strong attack, rather fast release like we saw earlier. It's very short, whereas this riser needs to be at least 4 to 8 bars or so. Yeah, let's try that. Honestly, we might even just take that pluck we did earlier. Let's take the single pluck sound. Well, let's just reverse this. Okay, that's already promising. We just need to stretch this out. Oh, it won't even let us stretch. A 2-bar riser, let's see. Okay, this is gonna be difficult. Okay, oh, you know what? We can do like a reverse reverb sort of trick. I'm gonna give us a fighting chance here. Let's make that pluck even more pluckier by making the attack even harsher. Let's freeze this. Now, if I reverse this, let's stretch this 2 bars long. Not exactly the right effects as well. But you know what? Maybe if we apply some modulation effects, that could save it. So modulation is really just another way for us to sort of color the sound. Modulation effects kind of loosely talk about effects like chorus or flanger or phaser. And these sort of effects kind of make the sound like a bit more spacey. They all kind of sort of sound similar with slightly different results. So let's add some modulation effects. Let's automate that frequency so it goes up over time. Let's boost that feedback up more. Okay, let's add more notches. Ooh, that was good. I don't like how it's like giving us that double at the end, so let's just trim one of them off. Okay, honestly, that's not bad already. Let's just give it more of the right envelope shape with kind of more of a softer attack. Let's add some saturation to this, and maybe we can make it distort as it gets louder. Whoa, I did not expect that. I like how that sounds. Let's give this a nice sort of riser shape. Let me add a utility device, and then we'll just do simple volume automation. Yeah, okay, that's pretty good. I could spend all day just kind of working on this. Let's call it done there. Let's see what next the wheel will give us. A crash impact, okay. Into a into a crash impact into snare. So I've got a crash symbol here. So right off the bat, pretty bright sounding, pretty high. We need to bring this like way down. Ooh. Adjust the envelope by making the release and the sustain much shorter. Wow, that's already done. Bam, easiest one. Okay, that's a cop-out. Let me do a bit more processing. Okay, let's add in just the ever bit amount of fade in to make it a bit softer. And let's do some EQing. Let's take out some of those highs. Maybe we can make this a bit more complex by automating the frequencies to change over time. Okay, that's already more interesting as a snare. Let's clean up that low end and let's add in some saturation as well too. Yeah, okay. And just for kicks, let's just add some fun modulation to that. Whoa, that's a sick sound. I just want something just so subtle, just a little bit of sizzle, you know? Okay, cool. That's a pretty interesting snare. A lot more interesting than just like trimming it down and changing the pitch. Yeah, it's looking a little thick. Let's just control that a bit more. We've got a kick. We've got a snare. We've got a riser. We've got some pluck sounds. Maybe we can start to build something with this. For this genre to work, I think we need to tweak the snare a bit more. Maybe it does sound better without all those extra processing. Maybe if I drop the pitch, would that help? Honestly, that's already better. But it just needs to be a bit brighter, so let's add some EQ. Yeah, that's already a better snare. Let's get some pluck lines in. Oh, that's good. That's so good. Let's work on the next sound. Okay, we're gonna turn a pluck again, into a... Ooh, okay, Pluck to hi-hat. That one should be easy, because it has sort of similar envelope shape. Actually, we can even just take that pluck sound we did earlier. Okay, let's get it into the right pitch. Boost that way up. We need to make this noisier. Let's add some distortion or saturation so we have more frequencies to work with. Let's really make that short. Let's add some EQ. I wonder if I can just remove that one frequency. Oh, you know what? I think compressing it might help too, just to sort of squash the signal. Crank that, crank it, boost the gain. Let's do the same EQ shape just to remove that tone. Let's do an even lower low cut. Okay, I think we can work with that. And maybe we just shave off some of that high end so it's not so harsh on the attack. I still don't like how it has that tone there. Maybe we're gonna kind of manually do a comb filter here. There we go. Oh, okay. Let's add some variation to that. Ooh, maybe let's make it a bit more syncopated. Yeah. I'm having too much fun vibing to this. Okay, next sound. Okay, ooh, okay, we're gonna turn a kick into a... We've done those already. Into a... Okay, kick to a... To a... Lead, 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 lead. Yeah! Okay, lead. Yeah, kick to lead. Okay. Or actually, we can even take the kick that we made. I think we might even be able to throw that into a sampler here, maybe. Yeah, we need this to loop much more. Ooh. I guess it makes sense because it started from a sine wave and then we added some distortion to it. Oh, that's a nice bass sound. I like it. It's a little harsh in the sound, so let's adjust the ADSR. Yeah, that's a nice lead. Maybe we can add a bit more color to it using a flanger or a chorus or something. Yeah, that's a lot more flavored, a lot more magical. Let's just do a bit of EQ cleanup. Oh, you know what? It needs reverb. Oh, it's so magical. Man, I'm getting like Mario 64 vibes. And maybe we'll add some delay too to give it a bit more sense of space. Ooh, okay, that's perfect. That's our lead. Let's see. I think we're missing only a few things left. Okay, we're gonna take a crash impact into... Ooh, that might be hard. Crash impact into chord. Where I was kind of thinking the difference between pad and chord would be was that a pad would be kind of soft and grow into it, the sound a bit more. Whereas the chord is kind of more like keys or something, or like a super saw, where like it has a strong attack and kind of like a long sustain and also very quick on the release, kind of like more EDM style chord. We can straight up use that crash sound we pulled from earlier. Let's squash the heck out of this with the compressor. That way, instead of it's a loud hit descending, we have like a long kind of straight sausage audio file. Fast attack, so it squashes all the transients immediately. Ooh, we're getting some room noise into that. Okay, that's cool. Let's freeze that, make that softer. Let's try some of that comb filtering from earlier to see if we can get any discernible note from that. I kind of want to try one more thing. Let's try an OTT on the signal. And that way we can really boost more of those lows. So let me add another EQ just so we can clean up the signal after the comb filtering. First half. Let's try adding this into a sampler now. It's kind of messy as heck. Maybe we need to do another round of comb filtering like we did before. Yeah, that's gonna do it. Comb filtering. I don't know if that sound is appropriate for this track because it's kind of more chill. Whereas when I put the chord category on this thing, it was more for EDM music. But I'm no coward, so we're gonna try. Oh, maybe we could try filtering it. That could be a bit more interesting. We can go over to our filter here, and I want it. I'm setting the filter value to what I want the sound to go to, and then this filter envelope here is going to apply that filter on the left here using the speed and the ADSR values that we set. So if we set it very short, it means very quickly it's gonna go from full value, no filter, to the filter value. But if we make it a bit longer on the decay, it's gonna take more time for it to go from no filter to the filtered sound. Right? Kind of wanted to go more like a wah wah sort of sound, like a wah wah. So maybe I drop it down an octave. Less sustain. Maybe brighter on the filter. Less on the release. Less decay. Okay, yeah. Kind of more, it's still kind of too linear. Maybe it has to grow into it a bit more, so... Yeah, okay. We need bass, pad, crash. Okay, so whatever this spin is, I'm gonna turn that into a pad. Kick, okay, let's turn a kick into a pad. Actually, I think we even did kick the lead, right? So we have the same simpler instrument setup, but we're gonna use a different chain, slower on the attack, long on the release. Maybe a little too long on the release. Let's add some chorus again, and then a reverb will be good for gelling those pads together. Last two we need the bass and a crash. So I'm just gonna say we're gonna make a bass out of whatever the wheel spins. Oh, that's a challenge. Okay, bass out of hi-hat. Ooh, that's a tough one. Okay, let's try. So let's take the hi-hat we made, drop the pitch. Whoa, womp. Can I make that longer? That's the longest we can make it, okay. Let's just even take this and throw it into the simpler. Let's add some crossfade. It sounds so funny to me. We need to make it thicker. Let's try EQing a bit first. Let's like squash all of the highs out of there. And saturate it a bit more. It could just be kind of like a more rumbly. It's not a nice bass. I think, okay, let's add the comb filtering. Okay. Let's add another one. Hey, okay, so it's still kind of got that airy sort of texture. I might have to add a specific saturator to do the job. I'm gonna use R bass from Waves. Ooh, that tick. This should definitely work in the context of the track. Last time we're gonna take and make a crash impact. Oh, barely. Okay, a pluck into a crash impact. We can actually even take the pluck we did earlier. Let's get this as noisy as possible. So we're gonna go OTT into this and really boost up as much noise as we can. Nice. Let's add a bit of DS10 to do a bit of transient shaping. So I don't want the sustain, but I do want it to kind of hit and then fade, right? Yeah, like that. Let's bring the pitch up as well. Yeah, let's add in some reverb. Yeah, okay. Ooh, yeah. That's great. Actually, we can even use that. Great. Okay, we've got we've got all the elements of a track. Yeah, and that's it for this video. Let me know what you think of it. I had a lot of fun sound designing these sounds from scratch and sharing a bit of my process and just making music for you all. Let me know what you think the title of this song should be. Otherwise, take care. See ya. We're like shooting laser guns or something.